Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave, and it has been a long time since we have done a mailbag. This is a mailbag show and tell. Sure, this is a mailbag show and tell, and it has been a while, but I've got 4 things that I want to show you. And the first one comes about because I love time machines. You didn't know this necessarily about me, but I love time machines. There are times when there's a category that's esoteric, like time machines, that when something comes up that looks interesting, I grab it. This, for those who know the show Voyagers, is a Drake Omni from that show. And I recently came across this, I think in an RPF thread, and went to Vince Callaghan's Etsy store and bought this. He's got real brass etch numbers on the time setting dials. This is a very rare prop. I own an all brass one from about 30 years ago that I love, and it is ancient and still has a battery that works. But again, I'm never done collecting when I grab stuff. So I picked this up from his Etsy store. We'll include a link to the store in the description. And it came with a letter saying, as a longtime fan of your work, from the countless hours I spent watching Mythbusters to the builds and joyful curiosity you share on Tested, I wanted to thank you personally for picking up one of my Omnis. This is always one of the loveliest parts about buying stuff on Etsy is occasionally it comes with a letter like this. Your enthusiasm has brought me years of enjoyment, and as a small token of my appreciation, I've included a light-up Superman knowledge crystal and display holder. Just amazing. What Vince doesn't know is that I was recently actually looking for a good light-up replica of the knowledge crystal from Superman. Literally. It was like, and I like what you did here. The original one has a piece of neon, I believe, cast into it, and you've used a straight shot of some COB, continuous LED. It looks spectacular. Vince, I can't thank you enough for the gift, for the sweet letter and the encomiums, and the beautiful work on your Drake Omni. Like I said, we'll include a link to Vince's store. Dude, now I have the knowledge. Thank you. Thank you so freaking much. Now, this is a mailbag special of something I did not purchase, but this arrived in the mail the other day, and I thought, oh, a Grail from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I have a couple of these, but this one's really nice. It feels really genuine. And it came with this letter. I have wanted for some time now to send you a gift as a form of thanks. Watching Mythbusters was a family affair in high school, and now I watch the Tested channel. Your breadth and depth of wisdom for makers, oh, so very sweet. Jonathan then continues, I make my living as a production potter for a studio based in Minnesota. And I try to keep my passion in the craft afloat by making art pieces in my spare time. I know how much you enjoy handmade gifts from fans, especially props. So when I was considering what I could possibly send you, there was only one acceptable object. Enclosed you will find a hand-thrown replica of the Holy Grail from the Last Crusade. I used your video on Regal Robot prop replica as reference for this and would be very interested in how it compares. So that Regal Robot Grail is in storage, and I have to get it out, but I will take pictures and put them up on my socials when I do. This particular iteration is the last of 4 attempts, the previous versions turning out much too small. Right, in the making of pottery, you make it large because there's shrinkage. I understand, and that can be, yeah. The weathering is a combination of slip that's fired into the surface of the clay body itself and acrylic paint painstakingly color matched to the clay body and slip built up in layers over the gilding to get the right look. This was also my first time using faux gold leaf, and I was very happy with the results. You should be happy. These are gorgeous results with a faux gold leaf. Not having a direct reference as a comparator, I will say this is damn good. I had intended for the mug to be usable for whatever beverage you like. Well, that's above and beyond. However, in my testing, the gilding does not hold up to liquid very well. I would not be offended if you stripped the gilding from the inside in order to drink from it. Oh, I really appreciate that, Jonathan, but no, I'm not going to do that. The glaze is food safe. Not sure the gilding is. Haha. Many thanks again to you and the whole team at Tested. Keep inspiring and encouraging the maker community. It is our sheer delight, Jonathan. This is a beautiful object. It feels so genuine. And it also feels loving in its execution, which I would submit must be part of the narrative of the Grail. I talk about props so much in my life. And one of the key things I like to point out about props for me is there is a high fidelity of detail to the original, and then there's an object that is perfect in and of itself. And sometimes those are the same thing, but sometimes they're not. This is a long way of saying I'm always looking for an experience from a prop that is in addition to its aesthetics. I want it to feel to me like the real thing. And when my ring finger touches this and it really rings as pottery, that is bringing that real experience home. And also, for your first experience doing fake gold gilding, this is masterful work. Jonathan, I thank you so much for this. I am not going to drink out of it, but now I have to get the other 2 Grail replicas out of storage, and it now is going to have some family to live around. That is just magnificent. You chose wisely. Next up, this is really quite surprising. And I want to make it clear at the outset here, I'm not trolling for more of this stuff. It'll be clear when I read this to you. This came last year, actually, almost a year ago, from Roy Robles at Wood Gem. He doesn't say what state he's out of, but Roy sends this. And Roy says, in 1980, I started Wood Gem, a furniture refinishing and repair company in Dallas, Texas. Sometime in the early 80s, containers of hotel furniture were being shipped to Dallas from Europe and auctioned off on a weekly basis. And to supplement my income, I would preview 3 auctions each week for a few local interior designers. If they were interested in any of the items, I'd go back that evening, and for a commission, I'd try and buy the pieces. At one of the auctions, a box filled with old magazines showed up. There wasn't time for me to look through the box. I only saw the magazine that the auctioneer was waving around, and no one was interested, and something inside told me to buy them. I was so hungry at the time, I hesitated to make an offer. Oh, I remember being, yeah, right? At the last minute, I took a chance and raised my card, becoming the proud owner of the box. And when I got home, what I found was 215 issues of the journal Work, dating from 1893 to 1908. This is an astounding period of time. Within the confines of this, oh my God, Carl Edvard Johansson built the first gauge blocks. Henry Ford started the first Model A factory. The Wright brothers took flight. So much occurred in that exact space and time at the turn of the 20th century. So this is 215 issues of this journal for mechanics, and there's like sailboats and desks, and I'm loath to start pulling it out of the order it came in. March 14th, 1896. Oh my God, there's probably, my grandparents were both born in 1900. So they were children when this was out. Roy sent this to our mailbox. I really appreciate it, Roy. If you have a collection of stuff and you're thinking about sending it to us, oh my God, please write first at ask@info@tested.com. We will respond accordingly. It may take us a couple weeks to get to a response, but we will respond. I'm not looking for stacks of old Maker magazines. I'm delighted to be the steward of this. And I have some other old books. I'll tell you that Tom Sachs was here in the cave a few weeks ago, and we were hanging out all day. And as part of the day, he had a phone call, so I put him over in the Tested office, and he was wandering around there having his phone call. He was all alone in the office, but he spent some time looking over my library of Maker books and film books and stuff like that. And he came back and he was like, the library is clutch, which felt great. I like having a representative library, and I do enjoy the idea of being the steward of remarkable and ephemeral things like this. These are printed on newsprint. It's already yellow because of the acid that was built into the paper. This has a limited amount of time that it will be on Earth before it turns to dust. And within that period of time, here it comes through my scope, and maybe we can digitize it. I don't know. But at least it's here for now, and I appreciate that. Roy, thank you so much for this beautiful and amazing compendium. And I'm really glad all those years ago that you decided to make that bid. and become the proud owner of the box. I'm going to start going through this. Okay, we have one more amazing object. Recently, on Tested, we went to the National Parks Service Conservation Lab in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, where we spent 3 days with that entire team. We made over 20 videos. Everyone was so prepared. Everyone was so professional. Everyone was so in love with the work that they were doing and also so proud of each other. I got to say, the vibe in that building was one of the better shoots that I had in this past year. It was really, really fun. And I learned about a whole bunch of new tools, a whole bunch of new techniques. And while I was there, I was really fascinated by this particular sprayer, which they love, and they use it for like rehydrating papers and stuff like that. And it was called a Talas sprayer. And then I got this box in the mail that said Talas, established 1962. And the Tested logo carefully applied to this cover. And when I opened it, well, there was this letter from Talas, established 1962. Hi, Adam. We are Talas, a sibling-owned business in Brooklyn, New York. And we're big fans of your channel. A sibling-owned business. That's fascinating. When we saw you marveling at the Dahlia sprayers they had at the National Park Service Conservation Lab, we thought you should have one for your own shop. Consider it, and a few other gifts here. What? A thank you for bringing such wonderful focus on some of the things we love at Talas too, like art and artifact conservation and bookbinding. In addition to the sprayer, we've included some other things you might like. Renaissance Wax is a conservation grade and neutral wax that effectively cleans and polishes most hard surfaces. But of interest to you, it is commonly used in the conservation of arms and armor. Interesting side note. On the lid, you'll see it has a royal warrant, being specially designated by the British royal family as a product for conservation and restoration. It is frequently in use by restorers at various royal residences to preserve interior objects and surfaces. You don't know how long I was recently looking for copies of the Royal Coat of Arms for my Royal Society Mace project. And there are many things that look like the Royal Coat of Arms. That you are looking at the correct one. It will be a unicorn on the right and a lion on the left wearing the St. Edward's crown. That is Renaissance Wax. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so delighted it's going to go into use. You included also a bone burnisher. Oh, this is a Teflon folder. Oh my goodness. Handy anytime you need to crease paper, mylar, or cloth. Teflon is an advantage over the more traditional bone folders because it will not mar glaze or delicate papers or cloth. We've also included one of our micro spatulas. Micro spatula. If you're ever in Brooklyn, please come and visit our warehouse. Consider it done. We're totally, next time we are coming to New York, we're going to do it. I am going to pull out the Dahlia sprayer. I am going to take it out of its wrapping so that we may celebrate. Oh, look at all little extra parts. Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha. So the liquid goes in here and you put it in through this hole. Then you tighten this up and you pump it up. That builds pressure in here so that when you pull this pin out, you get spray out of this nozzle. This is wonderful. This is really, really beautiful. Talas, thank you. Everybody, thank you for the magnificent, bounteous objects. And again, don't get any ideas about sending me stacks of books without reading first. It is really rare that someone sends me 5 things that will all absolutely go into regular rotation. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you out in Brooklyn before too long. Thanks for joining me for this show and tell. Yeah. I would love to hear about early maker magazines you might know about. So tell me about those in the comments. And yeah, add them out. I'll see you guys next time.